So yesterday I mentioned measuring fatigue with a coffee cup scale. Let's just say I had more than a few cups this morning, but who's counting? Before I get into how I really measured fatigue in my research, let me tell you a bit about why I even bothered to in the first place. I mean, why is this so important? Well, muscle fatigue is a known risk factor for injuries in the workplace. Not only that, but it is associated with musculoskeletal disorders, such as lower back pain and carpal tunnel syndrome. With that said, it becomes essential that we're able to measure fatigue, but also establish limits that should not be exceeded. The way I measured fatigue in my research is using a scale where individuals rate how tired they feel. This is called a rating of perceived fatigue scale, where higher ratings indicate higher levels of fatigue. These scales are actually used quite commonly in the workplace and in the laboratory settings, given how easy they are to administer. But are these ratings really accurate? Do people understand what they're rating? Lastly, if we provide individuals with feedback on their actual fatigue, do their ratings become any better, any more accurate? These are some of the questions that I sought to answer in my research. So we had individuals come into our lab and perform fatigue protocol, which involved them pulling against the cuff, much like a biceps curl that you do at a gym, only in a fixed position. And they performed sets of this until they couldn't any longer. Here we have Jack, who came into our study, and in front of him is a computer monitor showing him a graph telling him how hard to contract and how long to hold it for, essentially when to pull and when to rest. And in between these sets, we asked the individuals to rate how tired they felt. What we also did is we measured their strength in maximal strength tests. We saw how much they really fatigue objectively. And we had two groups perform these fatigue protocols, with one key difference. We had one group get feedback cues in how much they actually fatigued, whereas another group, they just did the protocol without any of these cues. What we found was the individuals that received feedback were twice as accurate in their ratings compared to their counterparts. Even more interestingly, even after we removed these feedback cues, that accuracy still remained. While these are still preliminary findings, and further future research will look at more dynamic tasks that are obviously more representative of the workplace, these findings are crucial to both researchers and employers that look to assess fatigue more accurately and more efficiently. I mean, think about it, at the end of the day, it may be our own perceptions of fatigue that are key ergonomic tools to reducing risks of injury. Although I do think we're onto something with this coffee cup scale too. Thank you for listening.